my dear?
Yes, I am, Lala, really. I think I'm still adjusting to getting back to the normal life again.
Oh, it must have been just awful being locked up in the hospital all those weeks, surrounded by suffering and misery.
Yes, it was.
Well, I want you to put it all behind you now. You know, I've been very worried about you, my dear, because you seem to, I don't know, you seem to drift off into a private world sometimes, right in the middle of a conversation.
Well, I'm sorry. Whatever it is, there's nothing to worry about.
Lila, darling, will you say goodnight once more and mean it so I can get to bed?
Yes, dear, yes.
Good night, you two.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, my dear. I noticed, too.
What?
Like Mother, I've seen you drift off into your private little world. There's something wrong.
No?
You know, earlier on when you were standing up at the window, I came up behind you and with my arms around you, you got so startled. What goes on inside that private world of yours, Monica? What were you thinking about?
Oh, it was nothing important.
You also drifted away during the meeting on the cardiac wing. I've never seen you get so distracted. As a matter of fact, it wasn't one of our better meetings. Rick seemed to be out of it as well.
Look, Alan, you gotta understand, it's difficult.
How do you mean difficult?
Shaking off the experience of the last few weeks. It's not something you can just do overnight. I mean, I don't seem to understand that.
And you think that I don't? Darling, please, I will give you all the time that you need. It's just that I get a little bit lonely when you drift off in that private world of yours.
I'll always come back. You can count on that. And if love and devotion are what it takes, I will make you the happiest man in the world.
How do you know I'm not the happiest man in the world right now?
No, I mean it. I do, Alan, believe me.
Darling, I never doubted you for 1 minute. Except possibly during my foolish phase when you convinced me that being jealous about something in your past was downright silly. Tell me, how did you ever put up with me through all that jealousy?
I love you. When you love somebody, you can put up with almost anything. I'm sorry if I drift away.
It'll pass.
You know, I'm thinking, maybe change of scenery would help. I could see if I could get some time off and maybe go with Lila to Palm Beach and help her close up the house. Then I could help her open the house in East Hampton before she comes back to Edward.
Go away. Now. What? Leave your adoring husband in our own new home?
Well, it wouldn't be for very long.
What is this crazy new urge that you've got to leave Port Charles?
It's not an urge. Well, I'd like to help Lila.
She's got an entire house full of servants to help her, and I only have one wife to love me and adore me.
Oh, come on. It wouldn't
Enough, Monica. I won't hear of it. Now, shall we go upstairs to bed? Come on. It's nice to have you back here like this where you belong.
It's nice to be back.
It only makes me all the more aware of... Be right if I sound corny for a minute.
No, go ahead.
You're the core of my life, Monica. Nothing has any meaning for me without you.
That is not corny. That's beautiful.
Do you feel as I do, that our life has a new beginning, kind of, after a long separation?
Yeah.
You know, even making love to you somehow is new and is more exciting. I mean, you're the same wonderful woman, but there's a new kind of excitement about you. Well, I won't bore you anymore with any of my lunatic observations. You sleep well.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
see you later, Colleen.
Bye, Dan.
Colleen, how nice to see you again.
Good to see you. How are things with both of you?
A little bit hectic. My parents are in town.
Really?
Yes, of course, you know them.
Uh-huh.
Listen, we must get together again while my mother's still here.
Oh, I'd love to, but...
No buts whatsoever. We'll invite Rick and Leslie, and you come along with them. It's absolutely settled.
All right, I guess.
Have things straightened out for you and gotten back to normal now that the quarantine's been lifted?
Oh, sure. Hi. Oh, there you are.
Sorry,
Here you are in your office, right?
Yes, I'll be with you in a minute. Would you call Dr. Gonzalez, please, Bobby, and tell him I'm here? Of course, Dr. Weber.
Leslie, I'm having terrible trouble trying to pin down Rick. What night you two can come to dinner?
Our schedule's been a little heavy lately.
Yes, understandably, but Colleen's agreed to come whenever you and Rick can make it, so it's up to the two of you. It's fine with Monica any night you want. Right, Tony? Really be better in the next few days. My mother's going to be leaving for Palm Beach, and I know how much she wants to see the both of you.
Dear, well, I hate to be rude, Alan, but I'm over an hour late for work already. I'm going to have to get back to you on
Fine, but do understand the Quartermains will not take no for an answer from the Weathers this time.
Come on, Leslie. I'll ride up with you to the elevator.
Okay, bye.
Bobby,
Bye-bye.
any messages?
Never seen Leslie so jumpy and uptight. You must have noticed.
Well, she's probably the same problem the rest of us do. Just trying to adjust to the end of the epidemic.
Yeah, but the time that she should have been jumpy was when Rick was locked up in here. Not now when he's back home and everything's normal again.
Well, people react differently. Look, I better grab that elevator. I'll be late. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye. The horns. I went up to my office. I called my mother at the hotel, and she's going to arrange everything.
Alan, tomorrow? What if they made other plans?
Well, they'll have to change their plans or miss the pleasure of our company.
You know, this was to be a business meeting, not just a party.
That's right. That's why it's important for you to get to Rick as soon as possible to find out when he and Leslie can make it.
All right, I'll ask him, but I know he'll refuse.
I'm sure he'll refuse if you ask him with that pessimistic look on your face. Use your winning ways, my dear. Use your charm. You know how to do that. I'll be at the office. Let me know.
I think we have to have a talk, don't you?
I know there is no way in the world I can tell you how sorry I am for that night.
Monica, if you think I'm blaming you for that night, you're missing my point. The point is, I don't want to have to feel uncomfortable or embarrassed because of what happened.
Look, I know what you must be feeling. All I can say is, when the pressure was lifted, after all these months of being trapped in this place, I went crazy. And I know Rick told you the truth. Nothing happened between us. Nothing.
I believed him when he told me he didn't make love to you. Unfortunately, the problem still exists because I also know he wanted to.
So if you only knew how I felt.
Fortunately, right now, the only feelings that concern me are mine.
Leslie,
Monica, you and Rick created this problem. If there's one thing that I've learned in therapy, it's that I don't have to suffer for other people's problems. I know you're uncomfortable with me. I don't blame you. I know you're even uncomfortable with Laura now. I can see that. And I know it's going to be difficult for you to keep up the pretense with Alan, but those are your problems. They are not mine. I don't have to deal with them. I don't have to worry about them. And I don't have to figure out a way to make life easier for you. What I have to do is worry about my own survival. As a woman and as a human being.
may I say one thing?
Yes, of course.
Now, you can believe this or not, but I love Alan. And I want more than anything in this world to make our marriage work.
That's not my business. All I wanted to do was to find a way of easing some of the uncomfortable awkwardness right now.
All right.
You and I have never been particularly close. There's no reason why we have to pretend a close friendship that never existed.
Yeah, but we're going to be thrown together, and I mean, in social affairs like the planning of the cardiac wing.
Obviously, for anything that has anything to do with the wing, I would put a face on it for appearances, for Rick's sake. But as far as anything that involves the four of us, you and Alan, and me and Rick, no more, okay?
Yeah. And thank you for being honest with me.
Obviously, I know that you and Rick work very closely and very constantly together. How you two deal with that relationship is really up to you. And if you and Laura want to be friends, that's between you and Laura. I have to remove myself from you and your problems right now. I don't know what's going to happen in the future to any of us. I just have to try and unclutter the present.
May I say one more thing?
Yes, of course.
And again, you can believe it or not, that's your choice. I say if I had it in my power to undo that night and the weeks that led up to it, I would.
Unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. But at least Rick has been honest with me, and I've been honest with you. So maybe that gives us a fresh start. Now we both have work to do, and if I don't go right now, I'm going to be late for the clinic. Excuse me.